Mark, thank you so much for joining me today. We just want to help prospective students understand who you are, who your team is, and just kind of give folks a better idea of the types of people they'll be interacting with when they come to App Academies. So just want to kind of toss it back to you. Tell us who you are and, kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Mark Rodriguez. I'm the manager of the placements team online. So for our online full-time immersive curriculum here at App Academy, I manage the team that guides folks from the day they graduate all the way through until the day they sign an offer as a software engineer at hopefully a company that they love. So yeah, that's been my role for the past 2 years, a little more than that now, and I love it. It's great.
Super cool. So, okay, kind of walk us through, a student graduates, and then how does it work with them getting assigned to a career coach and kind of working with you more closely?
Yeah, absolutely. So just before graduation, every student is assigned a career coach. This is their primary point of contact. This is someone who will walk them through the process of preparing for interviews, applying for jobs, getting those, kind of final round interviews, those negotiations when you get an offer letter, and of course, reading through the contracts, making sure that salaries look good, everything looks good, and that you're ready to start your job as a software engineer. So on top of having that individual kind of coach guide you through your one-on-one needs, we also have all of our coaches provide hours of workshops, continuing education, computer science fundamentals, interview prep skills, stress management skills. It's a huge part of it too. The job search can be difficult, so we make sure that you all are, feel that everyone is, taken care of in that way as well. And so on top of meeting with your coach, you have all the coaches, myself included, available to be able to kind of walk you through the process. And if there are individual needs that a student needs or a job seeker needs, they can come to one of our workshops and get that support there as well.
That's awesome. So you mentioned obviously stress management being a large part of, the job process and finding that perfect first job. So we have actually two different types of career coaches. We have kind of more on the behavioral side and more that are on the technical side. Can you kind of walk us through the differences there and how you wound up kind of being on one side or the other?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, the job search process really is kind of two-pronged in tech. One is you have obviously the technical skills that you need, but you also have the kind of behavioral part. Can you speak about tech in a way that makes sense? You're going to be meeting with people who may not be technical, but are going to be asking you questions much more along the lines of what you'd expect for any of you or for anyone who is coming into App Academy from a different career. You would expect kind of this behavioral interview. You sit down, you talk to a manager or somebody and go over what the job is, and you're trying to get an idea of whether or not you're an overall good fit for the role in every other way but technically. So our behavioral coaches are experts in either with backgrounds in education or in life coaching, career coaching as well. Many have worked in admissions at universities or in career opportunity or career placement in other fields and have found their way to us. And so they've done this for years and are fantastic, at getting you or getting a job seeker set for that stage of the interview. But then our technical career coaches, of course, come in and help guide you through the technical aspects of the interview. So that's the any coding challenges, so pieces of code that you have to write on your own, right, and submit back to an interviewer for them to review. On-sites where you code live in front of perhaps the team that you're going to be working with, right, something like that. All of our technical career coaches are software engineers, again, myself included. That's what we do, that's what we love. And so when we're not coding, we're spending our time guiding job seekers through that process because we've experienced it before and we know what it's like. And yeah, it's a tough process for sure, but it's a lot of fun. You learn a lot, and the learning really doesn't stop after kind of graduation because of all of these other things that you need to do to really gear up for that interview process.
Absolutely. And so how do you kind of, how do you interact with students kind of on a daily basis? Are you having kind of one-on-one conversations or phone calls, or it's just kind of everything throughout the job search process where you're sitting down one-on-one with that student and kind of helping them with whatever aspect they need?
Yes, absolutely. So for the most part, when an individual or any student job seeker kind of needs support, our workshops provide opportunities for them to pop in and say, hey, I just have a quick question. I got this technical coding challenge. I just need someone to look it over before I submit it. We have I have a workshop where that's all we talk about. Bring in your coding challenges, bring in your work, and show it to not only myself, but the group. And we can kind of talk about it in a group setting like that. Same with behavioral coaches and their behavioral workshops. Now, when a job seeker has like, hey, I have this one particular interview, I'm really excited for it. How can I tweak what I say in the behavioral portion of the interview? Or how do I know they're going to ask me these specific technical questions. How do I formulate an answer so it makes sense to the interviewer and it allows me to express everything that I know? I'll say, absolutely. Slack me, let's get on a call and let's work through it for an hour and just kind of talk about it one-on-one. And so those individualized needs, those are kind of the other half of the time spent with job seekers is just kind of, hey, this is your one very specific interview. It's a very specific process. A group setting, a group conversation probably won't work to get all of your questions answered. Let's get on a call and let's figure out if we can work on this together. So it's a very collaborative experience, and we keep it open for whatever the specific need is. We can address it either again through workshop, through continuing education, or in our one-on-one check-ins.
That's awesome. So obviously, you mentioned you're a technical career coach. You have been a software engineer yourself. How did you kind of transition now into this career coaching position?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went through App Academy myself. I'm an alum, and most of our technical coaches are. Of course, they do have experience outside in management and other things as well. But most of us have gone through the program, which is honestly the best thing because we understand exactly where a job seeker is coming from when they enter the job search. It is stressful. We've all been through it. We've all applied for jobs. We've all had interviews and have all received competing offers. Personally, it was between coming to App Academy and working for a startup as I'd be one of 6 engineers on the team. At the end of the day, when I got that offer and compared it to what I could be doing here at App Academy in this particular role, I decided App Academy. I love the mission, I love the people, and I wanted to stick around, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. So being able to not only work in an engineering capacity, all of our technical coaches are still engineers. We still build things, we still work on our internal tools and other things like that. But it's nice to be able to have that one-on-one time with folks that were just like us, really helping pull you all across the finish line in that way. That's what's really exciting.
Yeah, and being able to the curriculum too, so you can help them kind of speak to what they've learned and apply it to any kind of job listing that they're looking at. So that's really great.
Right.
Kind of walk us through, do you have sort of a teaching philosophy, or is there anything kind of on the other side of the coin, is there anything that you think students who are looking at App Academy should know prior to coming in? Kind of a twofold question, but just want to hear from you kind of what folks should know, or how you kind of go about working with the students that you get paired with.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can start with my teaching philosophy. Honestly, again, I'm a software engineer. I love building things. So when it comes to kind of trying to find out, if there are gaps in knowledge, or if there are areas where a job seeker really wants to strengthen their knowledge prior to an interview, my whole thing around this is, let's build something together. Let's just jump in a room with a group. Let's throw up some code and let's just hack our way through a new technology or a new idea within the code that we're writing, right? You have a feature you want to add to a project you've built, don't quite know how, but it needs this tool. Let's read through the documentation for that tool. Let's pull up some code and let's just go. I think that's really where I'm most comfortable, and I think that anyone coming to App Academy whose goal it is to be a software engineer kind of has that hacker mentality in their own in their own way. And so by learning while doing, which is, I think, it's App Academy's entire philosophy too, right? You learn while you do, and that's absolutely right, because that's how it is in the real world. And that's how it will be for for an entire career of a software engineer, learning as they're doing. It's a great fit. That's exactly what I like doing. So learn while you do. That'd be my teaching philosophy. As for advice, you said advice to any job seeker or anyone who's thinking about coming to App Academy. It's a boot camp, right? The process is tough. right? So expect to put in the work, expect to be challenged in a way that you probably have never been challenged before. For me, this was the hardest thing, the most difficult thing that I've ever done, including going through college, right? But at the end of the day, it's also the most rewarding. So, come at it with an open mind, come at it ready to learn, ready to just absorb as much as you possibly can, but also be willing to, put in the effort, put in the work, because again, at the end of the day, it's a boot camp experience, and it's rough, but absolutely worth it, and by far the most rewarding thing I've personally ever done. And I know that amongst the placements team, the coaching team, we all agree, those of us who went through the program, that it really is, the most rewarding thing. Changing your life in this way is awesome. So, yeah.
Totally. Well, Mark, thank you so much. I think this is going to be super helpful for anyone that's considering boot camps, but of course, App Academy in particular. So thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for this chat, and I'm excited to know that this might help. So take care.